Yo, still bills, what's the deal, man? Yo, I'm heading to work. I fucked my knee up again sparring. The same motherfucker I sparred last time I fucked my knee up, man. So I gotta stop. I want to go back tonight, man. I want to go back. I'm gonna see how I'm gonna pop this IB and I'm gonna go back. Hopefully, it's I'm good, cause I'm trying to prep for a fight. You dig me? I can't be taking no time off because this is usually around the time I start kicking my feet up when this winter season kicks in. It ain't winter, you dig? I want to get Rumble in by October or something like that. Might have to push it back to November, man. I ain't want to have to do this, man. But can't ignore the body, man. But peep gang, let's get into this shit, man. And that is this. Y'all got Champ fucked up. Y'all got Champ fucked up. And what I mean by that is this. We not about to sit here and pawn off David and Dimitri on Bud just because he did what he did to Canelo. We not about to do that. We not about to do that. I think that shit is really unfair. I think that shit is... I mean, it's Turkey, you dig? Turkey is doing it. You dig? Turkey is the one who, presented the idea. Now, granted, I can't be entirely too mad at it because Turkey is like, I'm going to put you in there with your contemporary. I'm not doing... I don't do tune-ups and nothing like that, man. We go for the big fights over here. So on one hand, I understand it, but David Benavidez is a fucking light heavyweight. But what that also tells me is he did have plans of putting him in there with Canelo, and it ain't too late to put him in there with Canelo. It's not. But we not all of a sudden about to make Benavidez and Dimitri a fucking Bud problem now. We not about to do that. We not about to do that. I think that shit is real disingenuous. I think it's unfair. Especially considering they got work to do in their own divisions. They're champions in their own divisions. So now him beating Canelo in the capacity that he beat him in wasn't enough. He got to jump up to light heavyweight and fight them two now. I think that shit is wild. I think that shit is wild, man. Let's stop playing games, man. That's fucked up. And people always do this when it's a fighter that you wasn't expecting to win comes out victorious. You can't even bask in the victory. If I'm being real, I'm thinking that they're gonna I think they're gonna have a rematch with Canelo again. Because Bud did hint at that when he said when I beat Canelo, I'll rematch him. He did hint at that before, and I see Bo Mac trying to goad Canelo into a rematch. Oh, he ain't gonna take that. He ain't gonna take that again. That was an ass whooping. He ain't gonna take that. I think they're trying to goad him into a rematch. Why? Because that's where the most money is at. You can't be serious. There's traffic on this. Oh, God damn it. That's where the most money is at. That's where your most bang for your buck is at if we being 150% real about it. And I'm not mad at it, you dig? Just this dude has been denied. Bro, just look at his story, man. He has an incredible story. This dude has been denied opportunity after opportunity after opportunity. He's been shut out. He's been ostracized. Top ranked Toby, wrong side of the street. We're not gonna put your graphic up on PBC broadcast. I saw, me and Monty Brown and my man Donald. Shout out my man Donald. We had a little back and forth, about it on my nigga Goon's page. Goon Boxing. Like, bro, you can't. It's real dismissive to sit there and act like PBC wasn't what's the word I'm looking for? Not conflicted, but that they wasn't conspiratorial in this man's erasure. They tried to act like as if this dude didn't exist. That was definitely a conspiracy theory to get that man out the paint and stop bothering us. Leave us the fuck alone. You go over there and you fight whoever you got to fight over there. Leave us alone. They were very much so conspiratorial in that. And to act like they weren't and, Al Heyman was just doing what was best for his company, that's disingenuous, my nigga. You know that them niggas was trying to, to isolate that man and, freeze him out. You know that. It's like you... Like I told him, you have an obligation as a promoter to promote this fight. So to a capacity, that's going to include promoting the dude who's not on your side of the street. If you want the most bang for your buck, you can't act like this dude doesn't exist and then when it's time for them to fight, don't nobody know who the fuck he is. You can't do that. So y'all both have an obligation and a duty to fulfill as promoters, man, if you want the most bang for your buck for this fight. And they tried to act as if that man did not exist for years. because he didn't want to go over there and sign with them. So you do all of that shit, and this dude, and not only that, y'all, it's talks of but Earl and Canelo fighting. And everybody in their right mind knew, man, Earl ain't got nothing for no fucking Canelo. Nothing. Nothing. But the dude who did was a dude that y'all isolated away from the rest of your fucking stable. So it just adds to his Cinderella story and his allure and the, just the greatness that, that resides within Bud Crawford. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to the champ, man. Just this dude's story is a motherfucker, man. It ain't just what his accomplishments in the ring is. People seeing the, the fear factor that resided within people when they would see this dude. Because it's definitely a fear factor when a whole stable of fighters don't want to see you. They ignore mandatories. They go out of their way to circumvent you, step around you. And you have a promoter that's colluding in that shit as well. It's like, yo, is this not the biggest fight that we're asking for in this division? Is he not on your side of the street? 60-40, 70-30, 80-20. Like, let's not forget all that. Let's not put his graphic up. You dig? That shit is, that wasn't by accident. They really tried to erase this man. They really tried to erase this nigga. All right, yeah, this shit is dead over here. We're not doing this. So yeah, man. Shout out to the champ. GOAT status. Mount Rushmore, definitely. Mount Rushmore, definitely, man. But with him being Mount Rushmore, I don't want to see him. All these people are piling on him now to come and fight. Now, granted, that comes with the territory, yeah. But Bud and Canelo was such a compelling fight because of the height similarities. I think at this point it's safe to say Bud can compete at 168 pounds. He definitely can. He definitely can. But that doesn't mean that he should have to go out of his way to do it. And if he does, let him stay at 168 pounds, man. How dare y'all bring up David Benavidez and Dimitri Bivol when these dudes are like heavyweights? You can't do that. That's disingenuous. You just can't do that. That's real unfair for anybody to do that shit. And Turkey ought to know better, man. Bud is your right-hand man, and you gonna do that shit, man. Come on, bro. Come on, man. That shit ain't cool. And then now here comes Demetrius Andrade all of a sudden out of the queue. Bro, listen. Demetrius Andrade is a 2-division champion, having not fought no other champion for them belts. You're not in a position to send shots at Canelo or Bud. You're not. You're just not, dog. You can't sit there. I mean, granted, you didn't get the opportunity with Canelo, but it was shit that you did to aid in the reason for that. You didn't do what was necessary to be done in your career to where somebody had no other choice but to come and holler at you. That's your fault, man. You sat on your hands because you wanted to chase one fighter, and that one fighter turned into a career wasted. Was there circumstances in your career that took place? Yeah, Billy Joe Saunders, that was definitely that was a circumstance that can't be ignored. We can't ignore that. But we can't ignore Matvey Korobov, Erislandy Lara. You choosing to fight Jack Koke over Erislandy Lara. You saying you don't want to fight Erislandy Lara. I will if I have to, but I don't want to because it's boring. All you're going to do is run around. You can't ignore that. You don't get to ignore that. You don't get to ignore the situation with Charlo just because he was getting a bigger bag than you. Oh, as a champion, so what? So what? Go for it. There's a lot of shit that happened with you that led to your career ended up the way that it did. Johnny Beck and Zach Parker. You 2 fights twice in 1 year. Like, bro, we not doing this. So you're not finna sit here and ride nobody's wave after you went up. Your first step up fight, which was a significant step up, bro. We watch you get abused in there. We watch you get abused in there. And this is what happens when you gun for one fight. You are not going to. It's just you ain't walked through the fire, so you don't know how to deal with circumstance when it presents itself in a fight where it's like you ain't the heavy favorite in. It's a 50-50 fight, or you're the underdog. You don't know how to you don't know how to persevere under them situations. You shot yourself in the foot, so you don't get to, you don't get to come at Canelo and Bud and try. No, bro, we ain't heard from you in 2 years. David done had 2 fights in between him stopping you. 2 fights. He had 2 fights in between him stopping you. Gvozdyk and Morrell, and he's about to fight Anthony Yarde here in 2 months. 3 fights. And you at the crib sitting on the shelf collecting dust, and you younger than Bud. But you just got this mentality that somebody owe you something, man, and you don't have to go through the, because you're a 2-division champion, you ain't got to go through the pecking order like everybody else. Nah, man. And now because of that, you are who you are. You think you get to just start calling out Bud's name now, and banging on, like, no, dude, that's not how it goes. That's not how it goes. 168 is a hot division right now. We just had Mabilia Martinez have a fight of the year type of candidate. We just had Shiraz send Edgar Berlanga to hell. Just that division is fuego right now. Jaime Munguia is back. Bektemir Melikuziev, we going right to that light game. Bektemir Melikuziev, we got Darius Foljam, man. That division is hot. If you want to go up and holler at Diego Pacheco, all right, cool. That division is hot right now. Hot as fish grease. You don't get to come over here and start saying niggas' names because you ordered it. No, bro, no. So I say all that to say this, man. Stop trying to put all this extra all this extra work on Bud because he did what he did to Canelo. That shit is fucked up. I can't stand with people. Let that man enjoy the victory. And let him make, if you want to drop down 160, all right, cool. That's your prerogative, man. But once he did what he did at 168, so 160, that's definitely an easier mountain to climb. But now y'all expecting him to just jump up to light heavyweight like it ain't no thing, man. Like, let's stop playing games here. As far as Canelo and what his potential plans are going there, I don't think he needs to retire. If he go, I said it on the IBFP channel. If he goes into that rematch with Bud is going to win that rematch. But he could win the rematch. I think what did it for, I said it before, what did it for Canelo was him trying to come in a little bit lighter to outspeed Canelo and show that he can box with him, or outspeed Bud and show that he can box with him, and he's just as fast as him. Nah, and it was to no avail. He failed miserably in that regard. He failed miserably. You're coming in D-born niggas. That's what you're accustomed to as a super middleweight now. Walking dudes down, putting them on their back foot, pinning them to the rope. Not outspeeding them. You're a brute now. And ain't a goddamn thing wrong with that. It's definitely a methodical brute, but it's a brute nonetheless. Your days of being a slickster and a dude who can operate at mid-range, that thing is over with, man. You're too accustomed, and you're stuck in your ways. And I thought you could revert back to that, being in front of a dude like Bud, because y'all are the same height, and I was wrong as 2 left feet. You need to just stick to the program. Stick to the program. So I think your chances would be better if you came back in with that that excess weight and muscle and build on you, and just you being brolic. That would increase your chances as opposed to trying to outspeed the speedster, because you did not wear those shots well in the exchanges. And I've never seen you that flustered in exchanges at a range that's conducive to you. I've never seen that. So, could he win the rematch? Possibly. I wouldn't pick him, but possibly. But nonetheless, if that is, let Champ decide what it is that he's going to do. And I personally think that they're going to go for that rematch with Canelo. I think they're going to go for that rematch with Canelo. I think naturally they're just going to call out names, say names, or whatever. If he does drop down to 160 and look to go 4 times undisputed and be a 6-weight world champion, good God, good God. Me personally, I think he should retire. Go out on your high horse. But I don't, but what kills me is I don't know that doesn't look like that doesn't look like a 37-year-old man who's going to be 38 here in the next week or so. I didn't see I didn't see rust. I didn't see any of that. I saw a sharp fighter who went in and put on the performance of a lifetime at that age. That just isn't somebody who needs to retire. Bud can possibly fight for another 2 years under the Riyadh season and make him that much more of a fortune. Because now his name is hot as fish grease. 41 million people just see him do what he did to Canelo. Should the champ retire? I think he should and just go out on your high horse. But after a performance like that, that just showed, man, you could fight till you 40, bro. You can fight till you 40. So I don't know, but I do, like I said, I think they're gonna, you know, go for the Canelo rematch. I think that's what they're gonna do. I think they're gonna go for the Canelo rematch. And we'll see where the champ goes from here, man. Let's see where he goes from here. But stop putting all that extra, you know, all that extra work on him. Stop doing that. Stop doing that. Stop with all that. He running there. He ran there. No, he fought like how I said he should have fought if he was gonna win this fight. I didn't expect him to engage in the manner that he did, but he kept Canelo off balance for the entirety of the fight. Worked behind him, straight shots, spun him, kept him off balance. And because he was so flustered that he couldn't catch up to him the way that he wanted to catch up to him, when the time arose for himself, when the time presented itself for Canelo to have success, and he was already so aggravated and frustrated, he couldn't get into a rhythm. He fought the way that he needed to fight. He fought the way that he needed to fight. That ain't running. He was engaging. He was using, that's lateral movement. That ain't running. That was not running. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. He did not run in that fight. That was a boxing clinic, a beautiful display of boxing, of hit and not get hit. That is how you box. If you're going to use that style, that is how you're supposed to do it. You don't win a fight by using your feet only. You either go watch Taekwondo. You still got hands to use. This is fighting, punching on shit. Beautiful display of boxing by the champ. Fuck out of here talking about he was running. Fuck out of here. So, yeah, I'm hoping that he, you know, just at this point in time, I don't care what champ does. But what I do care about is you motherfuckers trying to, you know, put extra milestones on him. Just, you know, with the sense of wanting to see him lose. Nah, bro. If he want to jump up to 175, let that man say that shit. Let him decide that. Don't bring your motherfucking ass over here talking about he need to go up and fight David Benavidez or Dimitri Bivol. Eat a dick. That's all I gotta say about it, man. Y'all stay righteous. Doses.